Hi friends, welcome to the Disney Slowdown. Birthday season is upon us. Half of my children have fall and winter birthdays. My birthday is in December. I've got one child in December, one in November, and all four of my children have birthdays close to a major holiday. Yay me. So sometimes planning birthday parties can be challenging. If you're in an area where the weather is not really reliable during birthday season for your kids, it can be difficult figuring out what to do. But I have a suggestion for you that you may not be aware of. So let's talk about it. That we've always done with our kids is we've given them an option. You can either do something special, just you, sometimes you can bring a friend, it really depends on what it is and where it is, or you can have a birthday party. Now for my oldest, whose birthday is in this summer, even then birthday parties were a challenge because if I didn't really know the parents of some of her classmates or some of her friends at school, then it was difficult to get those invites out and communication. And of course this was before everybody had a cell phone too. My other two girls having birthdays in really busy seasons, and of course the one right before Christmas, that always makes it challenging. And my poor son, he will probably never get a birthday party because his birthday always falls Labor Day weekend and everybody has other plans. Thankfully for him, we've been able to go to a water park, and that's usually the last weekend that a water park is open, so it's something special. Oh, it's the last weekend that Six Flags Hurricane Harbor is going to be open, or even up in Valdosta at Wild Adventures. Now in Orlando, Legoland, that water park is open year-round, and also the water parks at Disney and Universal and SeaWorld, like they're open year-round. I don't know that I would want to go to them, but I know that they're open and people do, so there you go. But Labor Day weekend is typically the last hurrah for water parks, especially coming from the Midwest. So that was always something special that we did with him, and we always had passes, so that worked out great. Last year, he got a hurricane for his birthday. That was fun. I told the kids that when we got our Disney passes, I would take them alone to the Disney parks for their birthday. Well, he was the first birthday that happened. So did Hurricane Idalia. Since we lost power for a few days, I decided if I'm going to be hot and miserable with my kids, we're going to Disney. So we packed up, we headed to the parks, we got a hotel room. We at least had air conditioning to sleep in and a hot shower at night. That was great. He still got his special birthday in the parks where he got to choose what we did and where we went. But the other day we kind of filled it in with the other two parks that he didn't want to go to. So we made it work out. But back to the other plan. Of course it was Samara who said she wanted to do an escape room. They're popping up everywhere, and there are a lot of places that have escape rooms. And for $25 or $40 a person, you can take a group to an escape room. I was not interested in paying that. But being extra that I am, I told her, hey, why don't we just do our own? I had no idea what that would entail. And we didn't actually end up doing our own. It was a little too creative for me even to sit down and think of a storyline and puzzles. We'd seen them created. Our library had done a couple of escape rooms that I thought were fabulous. I'm like, if the library can do it, we can do it. But in the end, I found a website that has printable DIY escape rooms that we went with. And that's what I want to talk to you today about. The website is called Rock Paper Scissors. It is in the UK, so it is .co, not .com. And they have several packages available. You can either have a package by age group or by theme, or you could just get the whole set for I think like $100. Well worth it. They even have teacher packages. I think there's some math games in there if you're a teacher and you want to implement this in your curriculum, or maybe you're a homeschool parent and you want to do something different, fun, and interesting. And I believe the other one they have for teachers is ancient history. They have some birthday ideas for a classroom. There's a lot lot of great tools on this website, so I would recommend getting just the full set, because if you get that VIP set, you also get everything that they add. Now, they haven't added anything. They'll put in some themes, like they've got some Halloween themes or they've got some Christmas themes. They even had, I think, Thanksgiving themes with some additional artwork. I haven't seen any new escape rooms, but as your kids grow into them, you'll have more available, and you might as well just go ahead and buy the whole set. You can print them off the way they are and just kind of have a tabletop game, or I wanted to set up the entire room. Now, the first one that we did, Samara was 12, and we were back in Illinois. We were getting ready to move, and we had a full basement. So I was able to transform that whole area into the escape room. I bought some LED lights. I did buy a fog machine because that helped kind of with the spookiness. I had some colored cellophane that I taped over our lights to kind of give it a little more eerie feeling and to kind of hide some of the puzzles. I liked how I was able to incorporate this puzzle into the stuff that we had in our basement, so it looked like we were in the house looking for Mr. George. That was a lot of fun, although you can see they weren't quite grasping the concept of the puzzles, and they did not escape. I will hold this over their heads for all eternity. We are still friends with these girls, and I'm looking forward to graduation pictures where we can show this off. The second one we did, again, Samara, she wanted a Roaring Twenties themed party, and they had one in this packet, and it was perfect. This one, I booked the fellowship hall at our church. So it was a little more difficult trying to get it to blend in, but I think I did a pretty decent job. Basically, all I did for most of it was to set up the areas. I could set up a table and just lay the puzzle out. There were a couple places like on top of the piano, or I brought one, it was supposed to be the dressing room, and we had a mannequin, so I kind of set that up like a vanity area. So I could still kind of play along with the theme, but most of them were just spread out in half of the room. And the other half, we set up the party with the food and hors d'oeuvres, and of course, she made her cake. That was the best party, and everybody came dressed to the nines. They were ready. We were so impressed. I honestly was not expecting people to buy the hats and the suspenders and the cigar props or the cigarettes. We did a photo booth as well, and I bought the photo booth props separate, so that way, you know, people could take a photo booth pictures with all of the props. But I did not expect people to bring their own, and they really did. They brought it. We had the best time. Even if you don't have the perfect space or it's kind of bland, it's okay. My other daughter, Emily, she wanted to do a Harry Potter themed birthday that same year. We used the same space. I was able to create some of the decorations. I bought the brick wall, the 9 3/4. We hung that up. We hung up the Harry Potter banner. So most of that we did purchase. I bought a frog mold. I made chocolate frogs, and then I put caramel inside, but I colored the caramel green. Just because I thought that was fun. She wanted a piñata, but after she made it and it was a golden snitch, she didn't want to bust it up. So we just kind of cut a hole, put the chocolate frogs inside, and everybody got one. We had a lot of fun with that party too. It was still more difficult. Like, I wanted to do more Harry Potter type decorations, but we literally had a blank slate. So some of the props that I bought to kind of set up like potion bottles and things, we didn't end up using because it looked weird in an empty space. If we would have had a full basement like we did at our house in Illinois, I think we could have pulled it off a lot better. Have you ever done an escape room? Have you ever printed one out yourself? These are a lot of fun. So I'm going to show you what I did. I downloaded the artwork. Each paper, like each art object, I blew up on its own paper. So I just moved it from the paper that it was on, or I made a copy and then put it on a separate piece. I like to use Publisher. I know that's not always a program that's available, but it is my favorite program to do anything creative. So if you have Publisher available, that's a good tool to use. If not, you might be able to do it on like a Google slide. Try that. Word does not work very well for pictures because sometimes it sets things off, but that would be something you could possibly try if you don't have access to Publisher or Google Slides. But I took each object, I blew it up as big as I could without making it look weird, and then I cut it out and set the pieces up. Now the one thing about this, you have a whole booklet, so I really had to kind of get my mind around is what are we trying to solve? What's happening here? You've got a story and you've got to get your group of people into this story. So you might have to print off the instructions and print off the puzzle as it is, page by page, so you kind of get a feel for it, and then envision your space and blow up your artwork accordingly. Even something as simple as finding some kind of wrapping paper that goes along with your theme or might fit into your theme and wrapping a box and then taping the artwork to the box to kind of give it more of a 3D effect. There are lots of different ways. If you have questions, just, comment. I'd love to help you. It just takes a little bit thinking outside of the box. Printing that off, I did not print it off at home. I saved it down to a flash drive and then I took it to the shipping store. There's usually a colored printer. It's like 25 to maybe 39 cents per page, and I think it's worth it. I'm not using my paper. I'm not using up my ink, and it tends to be a little bit better quality than my printer at home. So I thought it was worth it to print that off and then just arrange it. I'm thinking about an opportunity that I have to do another escape room. We'll see if I can get it pulled off next year. Have you done any escape rooms at all? Have you gone and paid for them? Have you done any your own? Is this something that you might be interested in? I put the website in my description box below, so feel free to click on that and explore and see what they have. I think it's something that everybody should know about. I think it's great for birthday parties. I think it's great for a group activity if you're looking for some kind of a group activity. It just takes a little bit of thinking outside of the box. And even if you wanted to do like a tabletop game, kind of like one of those dinner and a murder game or something where it's all tabletop and you don't have to really immerse yourself in the setting, you could do that with any of their puzzles as well. What do you do for your kids' birthdays? Do you have the same problem that we do and we have conflicts with major holidays and really busy seasons? Let me know. If you're finding this video helpful, would you please like it, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell? I really appreciate it. And feel free to send this video to 1, 2, or 10 of your friends. I'd love to help somebody else out planning birthday parties. I know how difficult it can be. And I would just love to get the information out about my channel. Thanks so much for your help. Thanks for tuning in with me. I hope you found this helpful and valuable, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.